Hi guys, and welcome to Paint with Mark. I thought today we'll go over a beautiful picture called Daybreak. I believe it's season 27 episode 8 of the Bob Ross collection, and I'd like to do my interpretation of that today. So the tools we're going to use today will be the 2-inch brush, a 1-inch brush, liner, strip liner rigger brush, maybe a fan brush. We use a bit of fan brush. I've got my palette knife. This is a 20 by 16 pre-stretched canvas, okay, which we're going to apply some liquid white over the whole surface, which I'm going to do first. Okay, liquid white, Bob Ross liquid white. I've got a little bit of linseed oil, refined linseed oil, just a little pot there in case I want to thin the paint if I don't want to use liquid white. And the colours we're going to be using today are alizarin crimson, okay, a little bit of yellow ochre, cadmium yellow, black, Van Dyke brown, black and titanium white. Okay, but obviously I'll explain the colours we're going to use as we're going through the video. So the first thing that we need to do is apply liquid white. Now I happen to have two sets of 1-inch brushes and 2-inch brushes, which saves me time cleaning. Now I like to dry clean, and when I dry clean the brushes, if you dry clean a brush, you just get some tissue, get your brush and wiggle it in there and squeeze the excess off, because we don't want to use too much thinners. I have got a pot of odorless thinners with a little grill in there, and I'll rub it over the top, and then I'll beat the devil out of it, as we know, and I always then squeeze it into a bit of tissue. So with that said, let's start applying the liquid white, and I'm going to use a 1-inch brush, and all I'm going to do is I like to do a few little dots and then crisscross strokes to get this done. So basically I'm just going to load up on my brush some liquid white. I'm just going to place, I like to place a few little blobs. I'll do the top half first and then I'll do the bottom half. It just saves going all the way down just to see where you've been, really, because obviously it's a white canvas and this is white. It just makes life a lot easier. So I've just done a few dots, and then all I'm going to do is just light crisscross strokes. All we're trying to do is just get this into the grain of the canvas. That's all I'm looking to do, just get this into the grain. So crisscross strokes. I'm not going mad with the brush, not flicking it around, just basically backwards and forwards. So I get halfway, just literally just doing crisscross strokes. Now you can see a lot of time where you've been, because if you look down the side of the canvas you'll see where this is shiny, obviously where you've been, and the rest of the canvas is a matte finish, so that gives you an idea of where you've been. A lot of mistakes is people put on too much, and again not enough. You just need enough, a nice even thin coat. So I like to go backwards and forwards once I've got halfway done, then go up and down. Again, I'm just forcing this into the grain. Then I'll come back into a pot. Again, you don't need a lot of this, guys. You do not need a lot of this. It's better off to spread it around the best you can. So down here, a few dots again. Go with that. Crisscross strokes, just to meet up to where I was before, halfway. Anyway, yeah, some people scrub it in like this, guys. If you want to scrub it in like that, or do circles, you're more than welcome. We're just trying to get a nice even coat on this canvas. That's all we're looking for. Backwards and forwards. I have got a whole video devoted to this on YouTube at Paint with Mark. If you're not sure how to do it, or you missed this, you can just go and watch that video. So backwards and forwards, up and down, just to make sure the whole lot is fully covered, and then I will get my 1-inch brush and just wiggle this in there just to remove excess paint. That's what we're looking for, just to remove excess paint. I get my fingers and I just push my fingers on there, and if you can see your fingerprints in there, you know it's just about right. But make sure you just go over those 5 little dots where your fingerprints are. I'm just going to get a bit of tissue and just very lightly, just like to rub this backwards and forwards. Again, you just don't need too much of it on here, guys, you just don't. So, and you'll see it takes some off and we're done. Nice, I like that, that's lovely. Okay, so in this particular picture we've got a nice little glow in here, this area here. Just going to go backwards and forwards on there. All right across that. That's better. Okay, so we've got a nice little glow there. And so the first colour we're going to use is cadmium yellow. And we're going to do this from around the middle area upwards into sort of like an egg type shape. So, and again guys, we don't need a lot of colour. So I'm just going to get the 1-inch brush, I'm just going to pull some cadmium yellow down. I'm going to pull it one way and pull it the other way, backwards and forwards on my 1-inch brush. And this has still got some of that liquid white on there. Okay, so it's going to pick the liquid white up as well. So just looking roughly halfway, which is around there, so just above halfway, and literally I'm just doing crisscross strokes. And I'm working upwards and slightly outwards. So this is nice and easy. I just want a nice sort of soft, but I want this area to be the brightest. And as we work out, it will automatically become lighter because obviously it's picking up more liquid white. So it's just dusting off into the distance. Nice. Just gradually come out. As it comes out, it's just fading out at the sides here and at the top. So obviously you can see, hopefully it's picking up, that this is the brightest area just here, and then it's just sort of fading out into the distance. That's nice here, that's what I'm looking for. Lovely. Okay guys. Okay. Next colour mix, I'm going to mix some dark because this is a wintry sky. So we want this a lovely bluey black colour. So I'm going to come into my palette. I'm going to get my little knife and I'm going to pick up some white and put it down to the side of my palette somewhere. So I've got some white there. Okay, that's over to the sides so I don't contaminate all my colour. I'm going to get some black. I'm going to pull out a bit of black. I'm going to mix that in there with some Prussian blue. I think I did say, I might have said phthalo, but that's Prussian blue, and some black. I'll put that in there. Spin that around. I'll keep picking it up and squashing this down. So this is like a really grey blue colour. So hopefully just picking it up on there. Squash that down. So that was white, Prussian blue and a bit of black in there. So I'm just going to put that down and wipe my knife to create this lovely blue. I'll probably darken the corners, but just going to clean my knife so it's a nice bluey sky. I'm going to get my, I'm going to get the 1-inch brush again, and it's still got this sort of yellowy colour, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to pick that up and go backwards and forwards on there. We'll give it a see what it looks like, and I'm just going to do crisscross strokes. So I'm up here, just going to do crisscross strokes, guys. Look at that colour. Oh, that's lovely. That's lovely in a cold colour. Hopefully you can see that. And I will darken that down a little bit more. I'm going to come up here, and I'm leaving a few gaps here and there. I'm not going over the whole lot. I'm leaving a couple of gaps in between. So I'm doing crisscross strokes randomly. Okay, but I am leaving a few gaps in between there. Hopefully you can see that. And ready for when I blend. So I'm just going to come down here, all the way down the side, down to sort of like, you know, the bottom area of here, just sort of about, just over halfway, something like that. So you can see I'm just loosely just doing crisscross strokes. Nice. Now what I'm going to do is, with the same brush, I'm just going to go up into a little bit of the black, put it one the other way. Now obviously I haven't cleaned the brushes at this, I haven't cleaned the brush at this stage. I'm just going to get a little tiny bit of that black, just to darken that a little bit more, just up in these corners. A couple of crisscross strokes here, a couple of strokes here, just to make these corners a bit darker, so we've got a sort of variation, a few darker bits there. That's all I'm looking for. Okay, so I'm now going to come into a 2-inch brush. Okay, and I'm going to start from the middle and work out, because I don't want to take this colour into here, so I don't mind if I go out this way with light pressure, crisscross strokes. So I'm just blending, just lightly, watching where I'm going, and then I'm gradually start coming out to the edge. Now where this meets here, I'm just going to use very light pressure, like so, and just take this out, very light pressure, just around the edges here, just watching where I'm going. So I don't want to contaminate this area here too much, so very light pressure here. And I'm just moving the paint on the canvas really. I'm coming up, crisscross strokes, that's all I'm doing guys, just light crisscross strokes. Light crisscross strokes. Nice. And then I'll just get my 2-inch brush into a little bit of tissue paper, and I'm going to wiggle that around and squeeze that. And over this area here, I'm just going to lightly go over that part there. Again, a lot of this is going to be covered up with trees. So when I get to that stage, very lightly, I'll go across the whole lot now. Light pressure, okay, light pressure. Nice. Nice and soft. Just trying to remove all these, any harsh lines you may have. I'm happy with that. Okay, now I'm going to use the 2-inch brush, but just the corner of the 2-inch brush, to create some clouds. So I'm going to come into some black, pull some black down. This is just straight black. I'm going to pull some black down, put it one way and the other way. I'm just using this just on the very corner of this brush. So if you look at the way it's loaded up, I've just loaded it up on the corner of the brush. I'm just going to do little swirls. So from over here, I'm going to start from the top. I'm just spinning this around. Just literally, you can see that, I'm just spinning this around, just using the corner of this brush. Bring it down, up, and out. And literally I'm just spinning it round and around. That's all I'm doing guys. Just literally just spinning this around. Just spin around there. Load some more paint on the brush. So I'm going to put it one way. I'm slightly bending it one way and the other way, but this is just black. I'm going to put another one up and go right up there off the end of the canvas. I'm going to put another one round, and again this is just light pressure, just spinning this around. Just spin this around. I'll put a little bit more up there, just a little bit of dark. Like so. Okay, so basically we've got basic shape of clouds just coming in. So now what we want to do, we just want to take off the bottom edge. Now you can use a soft brush. I'm going to use a 1-inch brush, and all I'm going to do is a dry 1-inch brush, and I'm just going to go backwards over it, doing little tiny C's, but I'm just blending out the bottom of this, just making this a bit more softer. That's all I'm looking to do, just soften these out a little bit so they set back in the sky. So it's a very sort of moody sky. So I'm mainly just tapping this base at the bottoms here, okay, just to fade out the edge at the bottom, keeping the top edge. It's important you keep the top edge, guys. But just really just sort of fluffing this around on this bottom edge, just tapping around the bottom edge. Same here, just going to touch this around here, but leaving the top edge. So this one's a little bit lighter in colour. Yeah, I like that. So I think what we'll do, we'll put a little bit of light, a bit of white in this area at the tops of some of these. So I'm going to use this brush again. So I'm just going to give it a clean, some tissue, and then I'm going to go into some titanium white. So I'm going to pull some titanium white down, pull it one way, pull it the other way, but mainly, again, I want it on the corner. And up here, I'm just going to spin this around, just in this area here, very light pressure. I'm just going to get a light spot up here in the sky, sort of putting it on the top edge of this dark, just seeing it on the top there. But literally I'm just very lightly, I'm just sort of spinning it around. And I'm going to load up again, pull it one way, pull it the other way. I'm just going to get it a little bit lighter, just going to go back over this. Hopefully the video will pick this up, what I'm doing. Again, I'm doing little C moves, little swirls. That's all I'm doing, is little swirl movements. So I've got a little bit of white up there. I'm going to put a little bit in here, just to add in a little bit of this white colour. It's just changing the flavour a little bit, as I call it. Just adding a little bit more to it. And you know what, I'm going to put a little bit of white just on that top bit there. So we're just adding a bit to the sky. That's all we're doing, guys. A little bit to the sky. So just a little bit up here. Nice. That's it. Okay, now really clean the brush off. So I'm going to dry clean the brush. I'm squeezing it some tissue paper again. Give it a spin. Really squeeze those bristles out. Like so. And it's virtually like a dry brush. I'm just going to go back in, I'm just going to tap like I did the dark. Very light at the base here. I'm just softening this down a little bit more, just to set this back. I still don't want to lose all the white here, because obviously, you know, it's going to add character to the sky. I'm just fading it off a little bit, just to make this softer. I'm just doing little C movements, little swirls around. Same up here, just little movements, just to soften that off a little bit more. Lovely, I like that. Come right over here with this. Just so basically, look, some of this is like grey, some of this is white. It just adds depth. You can play for ages with these skies, you really can. These clouds, fluffing these up. Yeah. Okay, that looks nice. That looks nice. Now, once I've done that, get a clean, dry 2-inch brush, very light pressure. So my handle's near enough flat on there. I'm just going to very lightly, just going to brush this across, very softly, and it will just set this back, set these clouds back in the sky. Very soft pressure. Lovely, like that. very whispery. So you've got some nice bit of cloud action going on here. Soft. Just going to soften that back a bit more as well. Nice. Okay. Right, I'm going to get my knife. And we've got obviously this bluey colour that we used here. So I'm going to make use of this. So I'm going to pick all that colour up there. Okay. I'm going to add some more white to it. Quite a bit of white. Just to soften this down even more. And I'm going to go into a bit more black. So it becomes a more of a sort of a lighty grey, more grey sort of blue colour. I'm just picking this up each time and pushing this down. Okay. I'll clean my brush. Bit of squeeze. Okay, now I'm going to go back to this 2-inch brush that's got this bit of dark on that I did the clouds with, and I'm not going to clean the brush. I'm just going to go into this mix. I'll put it one way, put it the other way, and then I'm going to put it down and wiggle it. As I pull it down, I'm going to wiggle it. So I'm going to take the other side, I'm going to wiggle this. Pull it down, I'm going to wiggle it. Put it down, wiggle it. Put it one way, the other way, down, wiggle it, down, wiggle it. It becomes like a chiselled edge. Hopefully you can see there, it's become, just by wiggling it down, it's become like a chiselled edge. So what we're going to do, we're going to put some nice evergreens in that are distance evergreens. So if this is halfway up, we're going to start above halfway. I like to sort of start about the middle there. So I'm angling the handle this way. I'm just going to touch, move up. Okay, I'm just going to keep pressing. I'm moving up. So I'm touching the canvas and just pressing it up at the side. Okay, and then sometimes I'll touch and push it out to this side. So I'm bending the bristles upwards. Okay, so I'm just going to put a few of these in here. Just bending the bristles up, and then I can come this side and bend the bristles up there. So we've got some, so you've got like, looks like the branches are pressing up like so. This is a well distance away, so we haven't got to worry too much. Obviously we're not looking for a lot of detail, okay, because this is just basically a mass of colour. I wiggle it. So put a few on here. So and what I do, I'm angling them up slightly, okay, so I make some a bit taller. So as I come up there, I'm just literally just pressing up. I come this side, I'm bending the bristles and pushing it up. That's what I'm looking for. Bending this up like so. Add a few more bases here. Come up a bit higher. Just bending the bristles up at the side there. Okay, so it gives you an impression, okay, that all the branches are going up that way. A bit higher here. So hold it to the side, press upwards, touch, press upwards. That's all we're looking for really. Just soft indication. That's all we're looking for. A little bit more detail in there. And so I've sort of come down about half, about halfway. I had a little small one there. Something like that. So you can see a little bit of detail on there. That's all I'm looking for, guys. Just a little bit of detail there. So I'm going to come into my other 2-inch brush. As I said, I've got 2 of these. If you haven't got these, you need to clean the other one off, because this does need to be nice and dry. Now I'm going to use the top part of the bristles, and I'm going to tap really hard at the base of these, really hard. So just going to really tap hard. And what this is going to do is going to create mist. So I'm looking for mist, so I'm just keep tapping base of these. Just keep tapping these guys. Again, the handle's higher than the bristles. So literally just, and sometimes I'll come up a little bit higher, so in places a little bit higher, and then back down again. And basically taking the paint and tapping it back on there. Once I've done that, I'll hold the handle virtually flat with these bristles, and I'll just lift up. Literally just lift these up. Again, this is going to soften this out again, and then I'll give it a little tap again. Lovely. Nice. So we've got this soft area here. Alright, so we're now going to come back into this mix again. This light mix, I'm going to just get all this lot up on the palette. Okay, now I'm going to go slightly darker. So I'm going to add some more Prussian blue into this. And again, I still need quite a bit of mix. So I'm going to get a little bit of white and put that in there, and a bit of black. So this is darker than what you've been using. A bit more black. Spin it around. You need to see a definite darkness between this colour and this colour, so I'm going to go a bit more blue. But I definitely want to see a transformation of colour. A bit more blue, a bit more black. Because I want there to be a lot of difference in transition. So this one needs to be slightly darker. Okay, looks about right. So I'll just clean my knife. Now I'm going to go into my same 2-inch brush again, the one we was using. It's got the lighter mix, and put it one way and the other way, bending the bristles, and don't forget we're going to wiggle this and wiggle the other side. So turn it over, give it a wiggle, and give it a wiggle. So it comes like a nice chiseled edge. So we're going to come a little bit lower this time because we've got a lovely mist. So we're going to, the top of these are going to just go into that mist. So that's the sort of thing we're looking for. So we're holding it on the ferrule here. I'm just going to come to sort of this area here. I'm going to touch, like so. You can see now it's different. Okay, come next to this, touch, and then I'm just going to come to the side and just blend this out. So, different heights. I'm just going to come to the side. Just bend the bristles up just a little bit, okay? Just bend these bristles up just a touch. Again, not a lot of detail, hardly any detail. What we're going to do in a minute, we're going with the fan brush and we'll just add a little bit of detail onto a couple of these, you know, if we need to. Okay, so I'm going to just keep going up like so, changing the height, and then when we get to that point, I'm just going to bend the bristles and just push up. Just push up and out, okay? It just means it's a little bit fatter at the bottom, and again, there's no detail. We're not giving any detail at the moment. All right. So again, I like to put all these bits in first. So just very lightly press up, like so, as we're doing this, like so. Obviously changing the heights and coming up, you know, into these, like so. So as I'm pushing up, I'm just literally just bending, very soft with these bristles, alright, so you get this little effect, flick out effect at the side there. And again, I'm changing the heights. I have a couple of bigger ones here and up here. So I'm angling this at the side and just very light pressure, like so. And another one there will come up here. So couple in there. So we're just, again, changing the height. Now, same thing as what I did before, but what I tend to do is just get my fan brush, okay, and just at a few places just lift up at the side of one and then the side of the other. So I'm just scraping the bristles up, flicking up on this side and flicking up this side. Just add a little bit of detail on just a couple of these. Alright, hopefully you can see that. I'll do it on this one here. I'm just flicking out to the side and I'm flicking out to the side there. Hopefully you can see it. Just got a few, it looks like a few arms coming out of these. So like so. So just got a bit more detail there. Okay, so I'm just going to go back into my 2-inch brush again, the one that we use for tapping. I'll just add a couple more there, just add a few more. Come back into my material. Going to come up into this one a little bit. That's nice, yeah. And just going to use the bottom half again, and I'm just going to tap. Same thing again. We're just tapping, alright, to create mist. So literally just tapping the base of these hard. Up into these. Really tapping them. I'm really tapping hard and really bending the canvas here. And then I'm going to use this, hold it nearly straight up, very lightly, squeeze up, and then again I'm just going to tap any of these marks back out. Okay, I'll wipe the brush, picking up any contamination, just squeeze this, go back in. Nice, lovely. Okay, now we'll create some more of these, but I'm going to come from the other side, and so I'm going to come across here and down here, right across this side. So, but I'm going to darken them up even more. So this time I'm going to come into this black and put all this black in here. And I'm going to add a little bit of brown as well, Van Dyke brown. Van Dyke brown, a bit more Prussian blue, a bit more black. This is obviously, notice, going to be darker. Nice. So I'll just clean my knife again. I'm going to use the same brush again, the 2-inch brush. So don't forget, we're bending and pulling, and we're wiggling this down. So pull it one way, the other way, and wiggling. I want a nice sharp edge, nice sharp chisel edge. So I'm going to come over to this side now, and we're going to come up, and literally I want him to come down across here, down to here. So literally I'm just going to come right up here. So I'll basically do, you know, like a straight line, and then very light pressure, just lift up, like so. So you get some edges, you can hopefully see the edge come out of there. So I'm going to do different heights. Again, we'll want this coming out. Hopefully you can see what's going on. Different one here. A lot of this is just a master. You don't see a lot going on here, but we just want to make sure that you see there's foliage going on. And I'll come back into my material up here. Different height there, and down at the bottom there I'm just going to flick up like so, and flick up like so. So just touch and flick up, touch and flick up. Make that a bit wider so you can see that. So you're just getting, some of these are getting bigger down there now, so we're just all coming down like so. See this at the base and just flicking down here. Another one. And again, this is, we're getting this to go in front of this, so load up again. That's why it needs to be a darker colour, because obviously we need to get some dark ones in here. So when we put these ones on, like so, I'd just like to put a few in to see where I'm going. It just gives me a guide. So I'm going to put that one over there. And again, remember, just lightly flicking up, different heights. Flick at the side. Like so. And again, if it don't show up, we can use the fan brush to put these in. I'll take this one a bit higher, like so. Just flick, touch, flick. That's all it is. We'll come out a bit wider, flick. Okay. We want to create this illusion. There's a mass like a big forest back here. So. Again, I'll come along here and I'll take some of these right up over the top of these, and we can, because we've got this darker colour, we can literally take some of these over the top of those so that it's all blending in with all these lovely different shades. I'll load up again. Just takes a little bit of practice to get these little bits of looks like the branch is sticking up this way, but again, these are distant things, we don't want too much detail, alright, but just the odd one here and there we're going to get a lot more detail on. So just a few pick the eye out, you know, when you're looking at these pictures. So again, I think that would do. And then what I'm going to do is get my fan brush again, dry fan brush. And just for a couple of these, I'm just going to hold it up at an angle and just pull out a little bit of this foliage at the sides. And a couple of these, as I said, where you might just get a little bit of detail in the picture, like so. I'm going to put that right against that light there, so hopefully that shows through. Again, not all of these, just a few of these, on a bit of detail shining through. A couple of bits up here, like so. Okay, I think it's enough. So we're going to do the same thing again. We're going to tap the base of this. So I'll get my dry 2-inch brush, give that a little wiggle in there. And same thing again, I'm going to tap this down. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to put one that's a bit more detailed. So I'm going to go into my fan brush. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to add a little bit of interest. Do one about there. So I'm going to take this down, tap at the base, load up again, and then I'm going to do an evergreen just by pressing up. So I'm just going to touch, come back to the side. So this evergreen just got a bit more detail than the others. Hopefully you can see that. You might be able to see that in there. So it's sitting in front of the others. So now I've got my dry 2-inch brush. I'm going to lift up, pull up very carefully from the base upwards, just lifting up. It's just softening out these, just creates all this depth. And then I'm going to tap, like we did before, the base of these trees. just using the top edge. Create this lovely misty effect. As I'm pressing hard so it becomes soft, like so. Okay, once I've done that, again I'm going to slowly lift up. So once we've pressed all up, we're going on to the next stage. Now sometimes if you push up too much you're going to lose some of the definition, so again I'm just going to get my fan brush and just going to flick up at the sides here, one way, the other way, just in a couple of places. Hopefully it picks it up, just to pick up a little bit of foliage here and there, just a few of these spots, just so it adds a bit more interest to the picture. I'm not doing too much because we're doing it to show out too much. I'm going to put a cabin over here anyway, so the main thing is this side is the one that really matters, this side over here, because we have a cabin over here. So the next thing we're going to do is going to add some snow. So I'm going to use a clean brush. I'm just going to clean this with odorless thinners, my 2-inch brush. Beat the devil out of it. And make sure that when you use thinners that you do remove all of the thinners, because obviously it's called thinners for a reason. It will thin out your paint and we don't want that. So we don't want it too runny. So I'm going to come into some titanium white and pull this all the way down, one way and the other way, like so. Just pull it straight down, bend the bristles, and I'm just going to tap, bending the bristles and literally just tapping it. Okay, come up to my canvas and I'm going to tap down this way. I'm going to angle the handle lower than the bristles. So literally I'm just tapping down here, like so. Just going to take it up to the base of there. This is creating lovely planes. Okay, that's what I'm looking for. I'm going to go back into my colour, I'm going to pull it down, and I'm going to tap. This is creating texture, as we're looking for. I want texture. Look at that lovely texture over here. Hopefully the video is picking up this lovely texture. I'll keep going into this, keep tapping it, because I want this lovely texture effect at the moment. So that's what I'm looking for. So I'm just bringing this down here, like so. Just bending it round like the lay of the land. Okay. And I'll add some over here. Literally I'm just tapping up to the base of these. So just literally just tapping across, just so it meets up this other side. So I've got this plane just coming around here, so I call it a lay of the land, like so. I do hope the video is picking up this texture. It's difficult, this is white, but I'm pretty sure with the amount of texture that I've got on here, it should be picking it up. So once we've got that on, I'm going to use a soft brush, which is a very soft brush, very fine soft brush. You can use, I've seen a few of my students who use like makeup brushes, but it needs to be a very soft haired brush. This is a Bob Ross blender soft brush, so it just means that the hairs are very soft. The only problem is a lot of these hairs keep coming out, but no pressure. I'm just going to very lightly, and I mean very lightly, I'm just near enough holding this handle, touching there, I'm just brushing this across very softly across here, which is just sort of setting it back into a picture, but you've still got these lovely effects. It's sort of like when you're looking close up, you've got these bumpy, so it looks like ridges in there. So that's the sort of thing we're looking for. So next thing we're going to do is going to create a nice cabin. So it's going to come up into our trees and off the side here. So I use the angle of this. See now, if you hold that straight, that gives you an angle what we're looking for. So if we just come up here and replace the angle, we're going to have an angle coming that way and an angle coming that way. So that would be the side of the roof there, and this would be the side of it here. So I'm going to scrape across there first and then scrape this way like so. So that would be our ridge, if that makes sense. So this way and this way, and then what would happen is this would come down here. So it'd be this way, and it would come down there. If you go this angle across like so, like that, and then you pull, imagine that's the roof coming down here, guys. So that would be the roof, and then this here, if you pull this straight down, this would be the side. So I hope that sort of makes sense. So basically, so what I did, I went that way, come in, pull down this way, pull straight down, I come across like this, kind of a bit lower, a bit further across. Obviously I want to make a roof long, and straight down there and straight down there, and that will be our sides. So once we've got our basic shape, okay, I'm then going to start filling it in. So yeah, I think that'd be nice, yeah, something like that. Okay, so I'll just wipe my knife. So I'm going to get some Van Dyke brown, just a little bit of black, there's not a lot in there, and just a touch of blue, not a lot. I'll pick a little roll up on there. I'm literally just going to fill in the spaces here. So as I said, I'm going to hold this angle up here, and I'm just going to pull it in and come down. Okay, I'm going to load it up again. I'm going to come this side up to this point. I'm just going to touch. I'm literally just going to pull this down, like so. Just pull down. Knife. Just go again. Pull down. Now you can use the small part of the knife, which is this little tiny bit here, if you need to, just to get in a few places like here on this edge, like so. And obviously I'm not too worried the way this is marbling at the minute. Just make sure that that edge there is slightly longer, which it is. I need that to be a little bit longer than this edge here. Nice. So it's all marbled to finish at the minute, which is fine. I'm going to sort this all out in a minute, but I'm going to put some logs on there. So I'm just going to darken the side out there. So using this same colour, just going to add a bit more blue in with it, just to darken this down a bit more. So I'll pick a bit of that up. I'll come up under here, push up and pull down. Push up and pull down. Okay. Push up, pull down. If I push too hard, the paint will take it off you. Lovely. So I obviously want this darker than this here. Now, while I've got this colour, I'm going to get a tiny little bit of roll on there. I'm just going to put that on this edge, just to give this edge a nice bit of colour. And this edge here, I'm just going to run that down that edge, like so. So just, you can see the edge. Now I'm going to put some logs on here. So I'll wipe my knife. Just straighten this up a little bit so there's no material on there. Use the small part of the knife. I'm just going to pull this down very lightly, put some more material on there just to get nice build up of material. I want it nice and thick, a bit like when we do mountains. There's a lot of material on there. I'm just using a small part of the knife. I'm just touching and I'm just pulling it straight down. Nice. Lovely. Done that down here. We're going to do a cabinectomy and take that out. We just want to make sure we've got enough material on there first. In this front part of the cabin. Pull this down. Like so. Okay. Right, I'm going to wipe the knife. Actually, I'm going to add some of that, more of that colour just down the sides here. Now we've got our dark in, we can add this on top. So I've got slight variation of colour there. Okay, now what I'm going to do is, I said I'm going to add some logs in there, so I'm just going to get this bit of colour and a bit of white, put it in my palette, mix this round. Bit of the brown, Van Dyke brown, and a little bit of the sienna. I'm going to add that to it. I'm going to use a small part of the knife, just a small part of the knife. Literally, I'm just going to touch and lift, and it should just take the paint from me. So literally I'm just going to touch and go up in like little lines upwards. Hopefully it's picking that up. And then I'm going to go across this line here with a straight line. So I want to add a little bit more white. And I want a straight line basically across there. Can I have the logs coming down that way and then the logs going sideways? So roughly here. I'm just going to basically near enough like have a sort of straight line, so you can see like the logs going down there. I'm going to go back into this and I can put enough material, enough width now to go across. So all I'm doing is I'm just touching here and there and just letting it take what it needs to. So you can see there, hopefully on that it's just taking what it needs to. And again, I'm going to do the same at the side there. I'm just literally just touching here and there. Okay. Then I'm going to go into a little bit of this blue with this dark colour here. Mix this all up. I'm going to get a little roll on there, and then I'm going to put this dark colour in between these lines. So again, but I'm just touching, just here and there. So basically we've got some darks in between these light patches. Hopefully that makes sense to you. So we've got some lights and some darks, which obviously adds character to the cabin. Just wipe the knife again. Just extend that a little bit more. Okay. I'm going to put a window in here. So we use this small part of the knife, and literally I'm just going to touch and scrape it across. So I'm just going to touch and scrape that across there. Hopefully it's come up on there. I'm going to do the same here. I'm going to put a window in here. And another one there. And all I've done is I've just scratched away the material that was there. So I push quite hard. Like so. 2 windows there and 1 window there. I'm I'm going to do this so it looks like someone's in the cabin. So I'm just going to get a little bit of yellow, with the cad yellow. Put that there, a little bit of white. Mix that together. And I'm going to use the small part of the knife. I'm going to wipe the knife and use this tiny part of the knife, that part, a little bit of the knife. I'm just going to use that and put that in there. So I'm just going to place that across into the window area, like so. Do the same with this one. Load up again. Enough on there. So where we scraped it with this part, we're just now putting this yellow in the area there. Another one there. So it looks like there's a light inside our cabin, like so. And then I always put a bit of dark around the outside edge once I've done it. Just a bit more there so you can see it a bit better. So then I'll get some of this dark mix here, and I'll just get a little tiny bit of that on there and a little bit on the small part, like so. And I'll just run it down the side, so I just literally just pull it down the side there, across the top and the bottom. Same with this one, just to put a bit of dark in at the side, like so. Just adds a bit of dark around the windows so they stand out a bit more. So yeah, that's good. Now all we've got to do now is put a bit of snow on the top. So I'll wipe my knife again. I'll pick up some titanium white, spread it out flat, get a nice roll of white. Now it's easier if you just make the outline first. So basically I'm just going to touch the top edge there, along there, and touch this side part here. So it sort of gives me a guide of where I'm going, okay? And then from there, sometimes I'll touch this edge here as well, and then I'll pull it down. So I'll just load up again, and from there, I just literally from the top, I'll just touch and pull down, touch and pull down. Okay. Now sometimes you have to reload a couple of times. So I'm just getting a small roll on there and just touch. No pressure. It's a bit like when we do snow mountains. No pressure. All the way down to the edge, like so. Nice. I'm on the load and go back over that. Going to really get a lot of snow built up there, so not a lot of pressure. Just keep going over this just to make sure there's a lovely coat of snow on the top there. It's nice and wintry. Nice. Cool. Okay, then I'll get my knife and turn it around the other way. Just on this edge here, just on this opposite edge, just touch, just to get a bit of white down that line there. So hopefully you can see that. If not, I'll just put a bit more on there so you can see, like so. So it's nice white edge down that side. Good. Okay, I think actually we could have a side bit coming out there. So I'm not even going to put in any dark with that. I'm just going to come out from the side here and put it this same angle, this line here. I'm literally just going to pull across slightly. So from there, I'm just literally going to come out from the side, come down, out. That's all we need. So with that, I'm just going to put that snow on the top like that. Wipe my knife, come back into some more white. I'll go back over the top of that, just to make that stand out a bit more, just across, like so. Okay. From there, I'm just going to put a couple of little legs down, alright, because this is like a little bit of a cabin type bit on the outside, like a bike type shed or something like that. So I'll use a small part of the knife, and I'll use some of this darky brown colour with blue. Just a small amount on there, and just in the corner I'm just going to touch, put a leg there, a little leg there. That's all I'm looking for. A couple of legs just for this roof to sit on, and then I'll spread that flat. Small amount. I'm just going to put a little line on the edge here, just so it defines the little cabin. Now I'm just going to come into a bit of darky browny colour. I'm just going to add a little bit of dark colour through here, like so. Just add as a little bit of shadow. And what I'll do, I'll pick that up, okay, in a minute with my brush and tidy that up a little bit. Add a bit more brown there. So I'm just going to slide this across, like so. Just want to get a little bit of land in there, or a little bit of shadow. I'll put my little staple thing up, stabiliser as I call it, some dark, put that back in, a line there, like so. That's better. Good. Okay, what we do, we're going to do a cabinet to me, and I'm just going to screw it down here, like so, and then there, and then what we're going to do, we're going to add some snow down there. So I'm going to get my 2-inch brush, and I'm going to go into this snow and just tap down like I did before, and right at the base of this I'm just going to tap across here. Oh, look at that lovely texture, nice. Take this down here over this area for a moment, up there. Nice. Yeah, look at that texture. So it's picked up a little bit of that brown, which is good because it will add, just by tapping in here, like a shadow. Add like a shadow in the snow from there. We're going to press out a little bit of colour as well around there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to use our really soft brush again, very light pressure. Going to pull on top of here, and again I'm just pulling down now, and this is where if it just picks a little bit of this brown up, it's fine. Just put a little bit of that into the snow to add like a little bit of shadow. Just watching the edges of the cabin, which I'm just putting this down here, like so. Right, with this brush I'm just going to go into a little bit of the Prussian blue, just a touch, tap it on my palette just so it's got a little dusting of it on there, and down here I'm just going to add a little bit of blue, this Prussian blue, backwards and forwards down here. Soft as I come up, taking it up into that snow. So I've only loaded it at once. When I'm going backwards and forwards, this is mixing in with the liquid white. Okay, so I'm just running this up to that liquid white there before, down, few hairs there, pull these hairs out. Nice. Okay. So now I've got a 2-inch brush with the snow on. I'm going to tap. I'm just going to tap on top of this blue, like so. Coming down this way, like so. Bring this down a bit more. Load it again with the white and tap. Bring this down. Like so. I'm going to use this 2-inch brush now. Very light pressure. Just to brush it across. Just to create this texture, but you've got this lovely blues in the background. So I'm going to get a fan brush with some of this blue, some of this Prussian blue colour that's got a bit of white on there, like so. And I'm just going to add a little bit of a path that's coming around there. So what we're going to do is come across here, and I'm just going to literally rock it backwards and forwards. So from here, grab another bit here, backwards and forwards, soft bits backwards and forwards. I'll take it all the way into here, so we're aiming for this part here, backwards and forwards, rocking this backwards and forwards around here. So backwards and forwards, see this, I'm rocking this, guys, soft. It's just adding some of this blue colour very softly, adding it in there so it looks like there's a path going up into here. So if it doesn't show, just add a little bit more colour here, coming in, rock it backwards and forwards, like so, up here, rocking it backwards and forwards, softening it in. That's all I'm doing all the time, I'm just soften this in, backwards and forwards, like so. Lovely. So with that, I'll go back into my 2-inch brush, pull this down one way the other way, give it a tap. You can see it's stiff and finish. I'm just going to take some of that into this here. I'm going to take that down, so there. Take this down into the path. Nice. Lovely. Just taking it down into this path area. Just a soft parts like that. I'm going to make that go softer again in a second. We're just taking it down this way. Just tap here. I'm just going to put a bit of dark around here as well. Now, if you want this to show a bit more, if we put some dark around the edge, get some more of this blue, and at this very edge here, we just put in some more dark in between where the snow runs down, like so. So basically what that does, it defines the edge more, okay, like so. Run it in, just softly blend that back in there. Nice. This edge here, I'm just going to put a bit of dark around here, like so. Look at that. Nice, I like that. Yeah, sort of nice little path going up there. And very softly, I'm just going to flatten this off very, very slowly, just across like that. Again, you can use the little soft brush. Nice. Just flatten this off a little bit. Okay. Nice. Right. I've got a bit more snow down the base here. Just there. Yeah. knife. I'm going to put a bit of a fence there, I think. So we'll use some Van Dyke Brown. Get some Van Dyke Brown there. Spread that flat. We can add a little bit of blue to it. Spread that flat. Get a little roll of that on the knife, like so. And what we do, we'll put it across here. So basically what I'm going to do, I'm going to come across there, we're just going to touch and pull, like a line coming down. Alright, and then from there, I'm just going to touch, pull it across, touch and pull it across. So I'll go back into this brown again. So you've got your lines there. I'm going to go back over that now. I was just doing that as a guide. So touch and pull. Do it down here, another rail. Like so. Now, if it doesn't stick, guys, this is what I do. Is I'll get my liner brush and I'll go into the same colour, into this brown. Because some people can't do it, or for some reason the snow's too much. So you can get your liner brush and you can put it in your liner brush and you can just then literally go over. So we're going to do our posts first. So our posts are sticking up. Pull them down into the snow. So second one. Top edge. Pull them down. And down into the snow. And then we're going to do our boards going across. So I'll take this coming off the canvas here. Coming across. About 2 whips of the brush you want. Like that. And then I'm going to do another one down here. Get a bit more materials. Let it take off what it needs. Nice. And there, basically, I've done a little reflection out there. And then I'm going to add snow on top of this. So I'm going to go into a bit of liquid white, use my liner brush, and literally I'm just going to run it along the top edge here, like so, on the top edge. Again, on this top edge here. So, add a bit more on there, I think. This is nice runny, it will stick. Put some on the tops. Nice. Okay. Just going to get my 2-inch brush, very lightly. I'm just going to put that down there where we've got reflection. In the snow. And there we have it, guys. Nice little winter scene, a nice easy picture for you to do. Got this brilliant lovely bright sky, a little cabin fence, and a little pathway up to there. So I hope you enjoyed this one. It's Mark with Paint with Mark signing off, and we'll see you again, guys.